3 people are already gone. A cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean is now a floating biohazard zone. And right now, American passengers are locked inside a biocontainment unit in Nebraska. This is not a movie. This is happening today. What's up, Caveman Tribe? Welcome back to Caveman 2.0, where we decode the stuff mainstream media glosses over. Today, we are going deep into one of the scariest viruses on Earth. And it just showed up in America. This week, in the next 8 minutes, I am going to cover everything. What hantavirus actually is, exactly how it spreads, and the one strain that spreads human to human. Which states in America are currently monitoring cases, and the specific steps you can take today to protect your family. Stay with me. Every second of this video matters. Here's what happened, and it happened fast. April 6th, a 70-year-old Dutch man on the MV Hondius cruise ship develops a fever. April 11th, he goes into respiratory distress and dies on board. His 69-year-old wife falls ill days later. She collapses on a flight home. Also gone. May 2nd, the World Health Organization is alerted. May 4th, WHO confirms hantavirus. And today, May 11th, American passengers are inside a Nebraska biocontainment unit. Here is what nobody is telling you about what comes next. Here is where things stand right now. Today, May 11th, 2026. 10 confirmed and probable cases, according to the World Health Organization. 3 people have died, according to CDC. 7 American states are actively monitoring people who were on that ship. And 18 Americans were flown to Nebraska this morning. 1 is in biocontainment. But wait, it gets worse. Keep watching, because most people don't know the full story of what hantavirus actually does to your body. Let's start from the beginning. Hantavirus was first discovered in the United States back in 1993. It happened in the Four Corners region, where Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah meet. Young, healthy people were suddenly collapsing with severe lung failure. Doctors had never seen anything like it. The culprit? A tiny deer mouse. Since 1993, 890 cases have been reported in the U.S., according to the CDC. Most of them in states west of the Mississippi River. I want you to think about this for a second. It has been here for 33 years. Most Americans have never heard of it until this week. Now here is what makes this outbreak different from anything we have seen before. There are many types of hantavirus in the world. In America, it causes hantavirus pulmonary syndrome. It attacks your lungs. In Europe and Asia, it attacks your kidneys. But the strain on that cruise ship is called the Andes virus. And here is the part that should scare you. The Andes virus is the only hantavirus known to spread from person to person. Every other type only spreads from rodents. Only Andes can pass between humans, according to the CDC. That is why this cruise ship outbreak is raising alarms worldwide. So how does this virus get into your body? For the regular U.S. strain, it is always rodents. You breathe in dust contaminated with mouse urine, droppings, or saliva. You don't even have to touch the mouse. Just disturbing dried rodent droppings releases the virus into the air. Now pay close attention to this part. The Andes virus on that cruise ship can also spread person to person through prolonged close contact, shared utensils, contaminated bedding. This is exactly how 10 people on one ship got infected, according to WHO. No rodents were on that cruise ship. Think about that. Here is the part that makes hantavirus so dangerous. After you are exposed, nothing happens for days, sometimes weeks. The CDC says the incubation period is 1 to 8 weeks. For the Andes virus specifically, up to 42 days before symptoms appear. You could have been exposed on that cruise ship in April and only be getting sick today. This is why health officials are racing to trace every passenger who left that ship early, before the outbreak was even identified. 30 passengers disembarked early and traveled to countries across the world. The clock is ticking for all of them. Now I need you to understand how serious this is. The regular flu has a fatality rate of less than 0.1%. Hantavirus pulmonary syndrome has a fatality rate of up to 38%, according to the CDC. That means, if you develop the full respiratory symptoms, nearly 4 out of every 10 people do not survive. The next part is the most important in this video, because right now, I am going to show you the exact symptoms. Knowing these could save your life or someone you love. Stage 1 of hantavirus, looks exactly like the flu. Fever, headache, severe muscle aches, especially in your thighs, hips, and back. Nausea, vomiting, chills, dizziness. Most people think they just caught a bad cold. They stay home. They rest. They wait it out. That is the fatal mistake. Because 4 to 10 days later, stage 2 begins. And stage 2 is where hantavirus becomes life-threatening. Here is what I find shocking. This early stage is identical to a dozen other illnesses, which means most people have no idea they are fighting one of the deadliest viruses in America. Stage 2 is where hantavirus becomes a medical emergency. Your lungs begin filling with fluid. You experience severe shortness of breath. Your chest tightens. Your heart function is compromised. Patients can deteriorate within hours, according to the CDC. And here is the critical information that could save your life. A treatment called ECMO, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, extracorporeal membrane oxygenation, can improve survival rates up to 80%. But only if started early. Every hour you wait, your chances drop. If you have any of these symptoms after rodent exposure, go to an ER immediately. Now here is the most important diagnostic clue, and most people don't know this. Hantavirus in stage 1 does not give you a runny nose. It does not give you a sore throat. These are the key differences from the regular flu. What hantavirus does give you is severe, deep muscle pain, especially in your large muscles, thighs, hips, lower back. If you have flu-like symptoms with extreme muscle pain, but no runny nose, and you have recently been around rodents or their habitats, please see a doctor today. Tell your doctor about any possible rodent exposure. That single detail changes the entire diagnosis. And this is not just a faraway problem. In February 2025, Betsy Arakawa, age 65, passed away from hantavirus. Right here in America, this story shocked the country and raised national awareness. According to CNN, her case reignited public concern about hantavirus in the U.S. And now, just 1 year later, we have a full international outbreak. This is the part mainstream media ignores. Hantavirus has been in America for decades. 890 cases since 1993, according to the CDC. Most people only learn about it when it's too late. Now let's talk about your state. Right now, today, 7 states are actively monitoring people for hantavirus. Texas, Georgia, Virginia, Arizona, California, New Jersey, Utah. These are passengers who were on that cruise ship and came home before the outbreak was identified. Historically, the U.S. has seen 890 total cases since 1993, according to the CDC. And most of those cases, west of the Mississippi River. But here's what I find shocking. Cases are now being tracked in states across the entire country. This virus is no longer just a Western mountain problem. It is now in your neighborhood's news feed. Here is the harsh reality about treating hantavirus. There is no specific antiviral medication that cures it, according to the CDC and WHO. There is no licensed vaccine. The only treatment is supportive care, oxygen, fluids, monitoring. In severe cases, the ECMO machine can push survival rates up to 80%, but only if you get there fast. This is not medical advice. Please consult your doctor for any health concerns. But what I can tell you as your caveman host is this. With hantavirus, every hour counts. Do not wait to see if symptoms get better on their own. That decision has cost lives. 60 seconds from now, I will show you how to protect yourself completely. Let me take you back to where this all began. The MV Hondius, a Dutch cruise ship, 147 passengers and crew members aboard, traveling through the South Atlantic Ocean, past Cape Verde, toward the Canary Islands. It was supposed to be a vacation. April 6th, the first passenger gets sick. Fever, abdominal pain, headache. A 70-year-old Dutch man. 5 days later, he was gone, and nobody on that ship had any idea what had just been released among them. And here is where this case becomes historically significant. Investigators searched the entire ship for rodents. None were found, yet 10 people got infected. This provides real-world confirmation of what scientists have long suspected. The Andes virus can spread directly from human to human. This has happened before, in Argentina in 2018-19, but never on a cruise ship, never across multiple nationalities, never requiring an international response of this scale. The World Health Organization called this situation unprecedented. And here is where it gets dark. 30 passengers left that ship early, before anyone knew what was happening. This is the part that is keeping international health officials awake at night. 30 passengers left the ship early. They flew home to countries across the world. UK nationals confirmed infected. A French passenger developed symptoms on their return flight, according to Al Jazeera. Swiss authorities traced contact with a passenger treated in a Swiss hospital. South Africa, Germany, the Netherlands, and in the United States, 7 states are now monitoring people. Texas, Georgia, Virginia, Arizona, California, New Jersey, Utah. 1 ship, 1 virus, multiple continents. In 2026, a virus can travel around the world before doctors even know it exists. Right now, as you watch this video, 16 American passengers are inside the University of Nebraska Medical Center quarantine unit. 1 American is in the biocontainment unit, the most secure medical isolation facility in the United States. 2 more Americans are being evaluated at Emory University in Atlanta, according to ABC News. The CDC classified their response as Level 3, their lowest emergency level. They say the risk to the general public remains extremely low. And I want to be clear, I am sharing this because you deserve the facts. Not panic. Facts. Most routine travel can continue normally, according to CDC. But knowledge is your best protection. Now let me explain the math behind why isolation is working. Scientists use something called the R number, the reproduction rate. Regular hantavirus has an R number of 0. It does not spread person to person. The Andes virus, during this current outbreak, has an estimated R number of 1.19. That means each infected person potentially infects about 1.19 others. But here is the good news. According to a 2018 Argentina study, after isolation and quarantine measures, the R number dropped to 0.96. Below 1 means the outbreak shrinks. This is exactly why CDC and WHO moved so fast to quarantine passengers. The system is working, and the math proves it. And here is the bigger picture most people are missing. Hantavirus infects between 60,000 and 100,000 people every year worldwide. Every year, according to a 2024 study. China alone accounts for roughly half of all global cases. In the United States, 890 cases since 1993. Quietly, year after year. Most people never heard of hantavirus until this week. This is the part mainstream media ignores. This is not a new virus. This is not a new threat. It has just never made headlines until it ended up on a cruise ship full of international tourists in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. All right, now the part you came here for. How to actually protect yourself and your family. 8 rules. Every single one matters. Rule 1. Seal every hole in your home. Mice can squeeze through a gap as small as 6 millimeters, about the size of a pencil, according to Mayo Clinic. Rule 2. Store all food in hard rodent-proof containers. Rule 3. Never dry sweep areas with possible rodent droppings. The dust releases the virus, CDC. Rule 4. Use spring traps along baseboards. Rule 5. Clear brush away from your home's foundation. Rule 6. Air out any unused spaces before cleaning. Rule 7. Always wear gloves near rodent areas. Rule 8. Wear an N95 mask when cleaning any rodent-affected space. Tell me in the comments, did you know all of these rules before today? And if you find rodent droppings in your home, here is the exact protocol. Step 1. Spray the area with a disinfectant. Let it soak for 5 minutes. Step 2. Put on rubber gloves and an N95 mask. Both, not one. Step 3. Use wet paper towels to wipe. Never dry sweep. Never vacuum. Vacuuming literally shoots the virus particles into the air you breathe, according to CDC. Step 4. Seal everything in a double plastic bag. Step 5. Wash your hands thoroughly for at least 2 minutes. This is not overcautious. This is the protocol the CDC recommends for a reason. What I am about to show you next is the one thing most prevention guides skip. Now this section is specifically for anyone who may have been directly exposed. If you were on the MV Hondius cruise ship between April and May 2026, contact the CDC immediately. Their emergency operations number is 770-488-7100. If you had close contact with anyone who was on that ship, monitor your symptoms carefully for 42 days, the maximum incubation window for Andes virus, according to CDC. If you have any flu-like symptoms plus a history of recent cruise travel, go to an emergency room. Today, tell them specifically about the cruise travel. That information changes the entire medical response, and it could save your life. Everything I am telling you is based on publicly available CDC and WHO research. And for anyone planning international travel, here is what you need to know. The rodents that carry Andes virus are not found in the United States, according to the CDC. The risk in the US is extremely low right now. But if you travel to South America, Argentina, Chile, Brazil, avoid rural areas with rodent habitats. Do not share utensils or food with someone showing symptoms. Avoid prolonged close contact in enclosed spaces with sick travelers. Wash your hands constantly. And if you develop fever and severe muscle aches after international travel, see a doctor immediately. Mention the travel. These simple habits could be the difference between a vacation and a tragedy. And now I want you to think about your own home for a moment. Most American homes have at least one of these high-risk zones. Attics, basements, crawl spaces, garages with food storage, wood piles near the house, vacation cabins and summer homes that have been closed all winter. These are where rodents nest. These are where their droppings accumulate. These are where hantavirus lives. And here is what I find genuinely shocking. Many people who got hantavirus say they never even saw a mouse. According to Harvard Health, you do not have to see the rodent. You just have to breathe the air in a place where one lived. I want to make this simple for you. Here is exactly when to see a doctor. Have you been near rodents or rodent habitats recently? Yes. Do you have fever and severe muscle aches? If yes to both, see a doctor today. Tell them about the rodent exposure. If you traveled internationally recently and have flu symptoms, go to a doctor. Tell them where you traveled. And if you are ever in doubt, just go. The cost of being wrong is too high. This is purely educational guidance. Always consult your healthcare provider directly. The next 60 seconds, I am going to give you the big picture. The one question nobody else is asking about this outbreak. Now I want to ask you something nobody else is asking. How does a virus that normally lives in South American rodents end up on a Dutch cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean? This question has no confirmed answer yet. The investigation is ongoing, but it raises a bigger issue. We live in a world of 40 million international flights every year. A world where a virus can travel from a remote forest to a crowded cruise ship cabin in hours. The question is not just what is hantavirus. The question is, what other viruses are out there, waiting for the same conditions? We cannot prevent every outbreak, but we can be informed. We can be prepared. And that starts with exactly what you are doing right now. I want to be very clear about the official position right now. The CDC has assessed the risk to the general American public as extremely low. Routine travel can continue normally. They have issued a Level 3 response, their lowest level of emergency. No cases have been reported in the United States as a result of this specific outbreak. According to WHO and CDC, I am not here to cause panic. I am here to give you the facts that you deserve to have. Knowledge is not fear. Knowledge is power. And right now, you have more knowledge about hantavirus than 99% of Americans. Use it wisely. Here is the historical truth that puts everything in perspective. For 30 years, since 1993, hantavirus has been present in America. For 30 years, 890 Americans were infected, mostly in the western states. For 30 years, most Americans never heard the word hantavirus. Then in 2025, a high-profile case shocked the country. And now in 2026, an international outbreak on a cruise ship. The virus did not change. The world's attention finally did. This is what Caveman 2.0 is about. The things that matter, that are hiding in plain sight, while everyone looks the other way. Let me give you the complete summary. 10 cases, 3 deaths, 1 cruise ship, multiple countries, 38% fatality rate for those who develop respiratory symptoms, according to CDC. No vaccine, no specific cure, only early supportive care. 890 American cases since 1993. 7 states monitoring people right now. But the overall public risk in the USA is extremely low, according to CDC. You now know more about this virus than most medical students. Share this video, because the person you share it with might not know any of this. And one day, that knowledge might matter. All right, Caveman Tribe, I need to hear from you. Drop a bone emoji if you already knew about hantavirus before this video. Drop a lightning bolt if this was completely new information for you. Tell me which state you are watching from. And tell me, do you think this story deserves more mainstream media coverage? Because I do. I read every single comment, and I will reply to as many as I possibly can. You are not just a viewer here. You are a member of this tribe, and this tribe looks out for each other. And before you go, next Tuesday on Caveman 2.0, we are going even deeper. I am going to show you the virus that health experts say could be even more concerning than this one. Most people have never heard of it, and it is already in the United States. Subscribe right now and hit that notification bell, because this is the kind of content that mainstream media will not cover the way we do. See you Tuesday. That is a wrap, Caveman Tribe. If this video gave you something valuable today, please smash that subscribe button right now. Hit the notification bell, because every Tuesday, Caveman 2.0 brings you the stories that matter. The viruses, the technologies, the secrets hiding in plain sight, decoded with ancient curiosity and modern intelligence. From cave walls to cruise ships, the world has always been full of invisible threats. The cavemen who paid attention survived. The ones who ignored the signs, history forgot them. Don't be forgotten. Stay curious. Stay primal. Stay alive. I will see you next Tuesday. I am out.